Hello there. I am Professor Torres-Velez. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to my LAC 132 Hispanic migrations to the United States. This course um, will be, it is an asynchronous course. It has it's an special type of course because it'll have an extra component that other of my courses don't have, and this component is what I call their infusion course, meaning that this course, in addition to cover the content about immigrations from Latin America and the Caribbean to the United States, it also will explore, or it will provide you with the opportunity to develop some basic quantitative analysis skills, quantitative reasoning skills. And so that's why I say that the course is infused with DARE. DARE stands for Data Analysis and Research Experience, and it is a CUNY-wide initiative funded by the National Science Foundation that seeks to enhance students' quantitative reasoning skills within courses that traditionally do not cover this content. Okay, and so the three learning objectives for this course are, generally speaking, you have the content part, which is of course about Hispanic immigrations to the United States, as I mentioned. Um, you are going to also develop a set of hard skills which will become useful once you are out there in the labor market. And these are, of course, associated with the quantitative reasoning skills, in addition to critical thinking and other set of skills that are described in the syllabus, and I'll walk through it in shortly. Um, this course also seeks to reduce the digital gap um, that our students usually confront. I mean, as savvy as you might think you are with technology, just because you have a cell phone doesn't mean that you have a digital literacy. And so, by learning to use the software, specifically Google Suite, with Google Pages and Google Forms. You're going to be performing data analysis. You're going to be doing, some basic development of bivariate, bivariate, bivariate tables and graphs and other, concrete skills. So we're gonna learn more as we move along. All right. So let's show you quickly here. This is my course, on Brightspace. The view you're seeing here, it's the student view, so you should see exactly the same things that I'm seeing. And so a few areas that I need you to pay attention to. First is the navigation bar, the horizontal navigation bar that is right here. This is the kind of the quickest way to reach to any part of the course. If you are deep within the hierarchy, just go to the content area and it'll bring you to the content area, which is this that you're actually seeing right now. Something else that it's kind of useful to also know is that um, this left pane in here on the side shows you what is basically a table of content for the whole course. Starting from the top, you have bookmarks, which are, as the word implies, a function within the course system where if you find yourself, say, in a given unit 6, unit 7, whatever, and you did work only halfway through, but you want to kind of quickly go back to it without having to dive into the hierarchy of the different parts of the course, you can just bookmark it and then go in there to bookmarks, and it'll be there right away for you to find whatever you left, the work. Okay, so that's kind of useful. Um, Course schedule. This is a very important one. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and show you right away. I'm gonna click on it. And so right now, as you can see, um, you have this provides you with the list of assignments. So it gives you the dates of the given assignment. Today is the first. So let's see what we have for today. So when you click on it, it'll tell you the assignments. So we have 2 assignments that are due for today. In theory, I mean, don't stress out. It's given that I'm finally making available the course shell today, Sunday the 1st, you won't have to finish these 2 assignments for today. I mean, if you already have completed at least the journal entry, you're more than welcome to upload it, and I'll show you where. But you'll have till next Sunday to make up for today, and of course for next week's assignments as well. Okay. But this is kind of useful, right? You come here and you can have a quick view. This is the upcoming, like right away within a week or so. So there you have it. But if you want to see the full layout of all of the assignments and all of their deadlines, go to full schedule, and then you can see it right there, right? I mean, let's just choose. I don't know. I'm gonna choose the 29, which is one that has a few assignments in there, right? So September 29, we have the journal entry. You have this other assignment and another one and another one. Woo, that's a busy week for you folks. So it's kind of important for you to always pay attention ahead of time to see what's laid out in terms of assignments for you. Okay, so. Even though I set them up in here with the dates, and they should be sending you automatic reminders for some of them. If I were you, I will take the time to kind of put them in your own calendars with reminders, so that you don't miss a bit for this course. Okay, so this is a very useful function, and I'm very excited for it. Okay, that's the course schedule. I'm going to go back to the content again, so that you can see how to navigate in here. Right, so we check the bookmarks, course schedule. This is the table of content, which is what we're seeing in here. The first place that you should go will be what to expect. All right. With the what to expect, it'll tell you how this course is fundamentally structured, and it's very simple, right? I mean, this course has 15-16 weeks of work. It has between 1 and 2 units per week for a total of 16 units. Expect to put at least 5 hours of work per each unit of study, and I'm telling you this so that you can again plan ahead of time. The following is what you're gonna see pretty much on every unit. It repeats itself. There is a pattern, and the pattern is there to help you to facilitate the navigation of the course, generally speaking, right? So what you will find in every unit is simple. You'll usually have a lecture. Not always, not all units might have lectures, but most units will have a lecture, meaning you're going to see a recording of me explaining course content, on a given topic. All right, so you should almost always see the lecture tab, and when there is nothing available, you'll see that I say to be posted or refer to this other lecture, so that right. The second part that's very standard that you will see every week, right? It's within a unit. It's the readings to do. Of course, this is a college course, so every unit usually have between 1 or 2 PDF articles that you have to read for that given a week. Okay, I try to be mindful in terms of how much reading I assign. It is pretty standard for a college course to have at least 2 articles, per day of classes. So if a given week usually have 2 classes, then you in theory should be reading about 4 articles per week. That's standard in college, in 4-year institutions as well. So for those of you that are planning to transfer to a 4-year institution, and I hope that most of you do, you will you have to be aware of the amount of reading. However, I did I the way in which I designed this course was that I was not going to that I was going to provide you with a fair amount of reading, meaning a manageable amount of reading. And so, in reality, even though when you see what appears to be two different articles in a given day, or in a given week, often it's one article that has been spliced into. And I'm just trying to be cognizant of the fact that a lot of you have other responsibilities, and so I'm trying to have a balance between to strike a balance between the amount of content I'm providing and the necessary time that you need to cover it, right? So I think it's a fair setup for the most part, and you're gonna see it. So again, a lecture, readings to do, one or two, movies or documentaries to watch. I always include a movie or a documentary, within the content. It's not every week, but every now and then you're gonna see that. So it's an expansion of the content. So I strongly advise you to check it out. It's cool stuff. Journals. I know we have journal entries and discussion board entries. Journal entries are um, uh, writings that you need to post on a weekly basis, just once per week. And the way this works is that you do the readings, and let's assume that there is a given unit that might have a reading and I don't know, a documentary or a movie. Well, the journal entry, you do not need to write about the documentary or the movie per se. It's only about the readings. And what do you need to write in there? Well, it's simple. It's just one paragraph, anywhere between 250 and 500 words. 500 words will be nice per journal entry. And what you do is you write one paragraph per reading. Okay, so if a given unit have two readings, then you'll have to write two paragraphs. So it's that simple, right? And so what does it include? Well, it's fundamentally what you think are the key points of a given reading. All right, that's what I'm looking for. So it's not so much whether or not you are getting the points, but instead what it's standing out to you. Of course, some of the readings will be addressing some pieces of information that I will be stressing in the course, in the lectures. So I will take care of that. Do not stress out. Journal entries are not meant to be high stakes. On the contrary, they are low stakes. They're meant for you to start engaging with the reading. Yeah. So weekly basis. They're usually due on Sundays midnight. Not usually, always. They're always due Sunday midnights. Okay. So if I were you, I will try to shoot for having them ready on Friday. And if for whatever reason you were unable to, then you have 2 more days to submit them. But to try to get them on time so that you don't fall behind with this material. The other weekly postings that you have to do, and again, this is every week, is a discussion board. Now, discussion board entries, unlike journal entries, are actually very, very short. It's a couple of sentences at the most. And what I want you to write in there is fundamentally, this is the space for you to interact among each other. So if a given point seemed particularly relevant, that you thought it was amazing, that you would like to share, well, that's the place where you post it. You will post it and say, hey, folks, what do you think about the point this author make? I completely agree or disagree with it. What are your thoughts? And then you post that, and that's it. It's just a couple sentences, and that's it, right? And then also you have to respond to at least one other student, again, a couple sentences. So in total, it's like 4 sentences, which is not even a paragraph, really. I mean, it's very small type of writing. It is not meant to be exhaustive. It is not meant to be, tiresome or stressful. It's simply the space for you to interact amongst each other, given that this class is an asynchronous class. Okay, this is the space you'll have to talk among each other. Okay. And of course, you'll have like quizzes and exams and whatnot. All of that is in the calendar, so you'll see it. All right. So again, take a quick look at this and become familiar with it. Okay. Let's move on to the syllabus now. All right. So here the syllabus. So in here, oops, I have a little bit of a repetition in here. I'll have to take care of that. But anyways, take the time to go through the Nentiquette part of this course. And the Nentiquette fundamentally talks about your behavior, your communication behavior, either towards me or towards other students. We are in college here, and so we need to strive for professionalism and respect in our communications. It is extremely important for you to learn how to address properly a professor or your students or staff in the college. So in my case, I am Professor Torres-Velez. It's my last name is these two names. In the Spanish-speaking tradition, we use two last names, the mother and the father's, and I do not want you to drop my mother's last name from my last name, so please refer to me as Professor Torres-Velez or Dr. Torres-Velez. All right, that will be the appropriate way of addressing me, and please do so in emails as well, in person if we happen to see each other, but also in emails. Also, when you write emails, it's very important to start with a greeting. I mean, I know this might sound a little basic, but it's surprising how much or how little students are unaware of this etiquette in college, and it's very important because it keeps communication flowing in a positive fashion as opposed to for lack of understanding on academic culture. I don't want you to get in trouble with other professors. All right, so so pay attention to how you write. So of course, start any email with a greeting. Dear Professor X, I hope you're doing well. I'm writing because I want to know about X. If you kindly could let me know your answer, it will be greatly appreciated. Kind regards or something along those lines, so that you demonstrate that you are professional and that you're respectful, and that will get you very far, I assure you. Avoid altogether the text messaging style of writing on emails, especially when you're communicating with your professors, please. Thank you. These things, course descriptions, objectives, learning outcomes, all of that is in the syllabus, so I'm just going to go and show you that in there. But before I go there, I mean, the required readings, I am providing with all of the readings free of charge, so you don't have to worry about that. You're welcome. And also, I strongly advise you to view this short video on Are You Ready? And it's basically a short video explaining how Brightspace work, how to use it and how to use other technologies, what sort of software browsers do you need to properly see this content and whatnot. So please take the time, and I urge you to check it out. Okay. All right, let's check the syllabus then. Click on there. Oh my goodness, I have spent so much time trying to make this syllabus as clear and as detailed as possible. And the reason for that is that I really need you to dive into the syllabus, read it very carefully and understand it, so that I do not get a flood of emails asking me questions that are already answered in the email. So please, I need to ask you to very carefully review this and understand it, okay? I am teaching many courses, and I have 150 students, and so it really it's really disheartening when a student shoot me an email with a question that has already been answered either on the course shell or on the syllabus. It means that I'm working 3 times more. I'm already overworked, as I'm sure some of you are as well. So let's be mindful of each other's time, and before you launch your email application to ask me a question, make sure you have sift through the syllabus, sift through the course, looking for the answer. Also, I will create, I don't know if I already did in here, and if I haven't done so, I will make sure to include one part where you can ask questions. Actually, you could probably use the discussion board posts for that, but I will create like a specific board space for you to post course related questions, so that you know, you can answer yourself the questions. That is, if one student posts a question about something and another student so happened to announce the answer, the person can post it there, and that could make things a little simpler for all of us. Okay. Excellent. All right. How about the syllabus? Oh my goodness, I'm speaking a little slow, and I gotta speed this up. All right. So listen, do not fret. It's a long syllabus. It has how many pages? Holy smokes, 22 pages. The reason why it's so long is because I included in there important information, extra information about some of the assignments that needed more explanation, and so I include that towards the end, and that's why it's so long. But in reality, you know, the course is not that crazy in terms of work. It has good amount of work, but it's not over the top, and I hope you'll get to see that. So here is the course evaluation. Again, the course is infused with DARE, meaning with the data analysis and research experience. It's a project that is embedded within the course content, and for this course, this this quantitative research. It's going to be a quantitative research project, but don't get mystified by all of those fancy words. What it is basically you will learn to, you know, in very simple and concrete terms, how to build a Google form, you know, how to create a attitudinal question. You know, those attitudinal questions are the questions that are used in polls, when you know, the election polls, for instance, surveys, you know, that are, you know, asking people whether they agree or disagree on a given candidate, or what have you. Those are the types of questions you're going to be learning how to create, and how to do so in Google Forms. So that's one part of this larger project, right? And the reason for that is that we are going to actually, well, not for this class so much, creating a whole survey per se. You know, in a different, last year, the year before, something like that, I had my students already creating the survey with me, and it's a survey about immigration issues, attitudes towards immigrants, and that survey is already done, and we're going to be using that survey. So in that regard, you don't have to create the surveys. You only have to come up with 2 questions, just so that you learn how to use the system, the Google Forms system. All right. And once we have that, and I already have the survey, eventually I will administer it to our class and to all of my classes, and that will serve as the source of our data. And so there's a ton of different questions. You will choose a couple. You will develop a hypothesis on what do you think are the most likely responses to that particular question, and then you're going to create a bivariate table and a graph of that table, and then you're going to write a short report on the findings of those 2 questions that you choose from the survey, and that's it. That's really the quantitative analysis research program, that their project that I've been talking about. And again, you can sit down and read it with more in more detail, and I please strongly advise you to do so that you can get a better understanding of what you're getting into. This is the contract with the devil, the infamous contract with the devil, so to speak. Okay. All right. So it is broken down. You can look at it yourself. So of course you have the project. You have so the project will be, the total project is going to be like 40% of your grade, their project. So it's significant. You gotta stay on top of it. It's not a big project per se, but I broke it down into lots of tiny steps, which are not really difficult to accomplish. But because there's so many little steps, you do have to be on top of them so that you don't fall behind. Okay, so that's all, and I'll show you how will that look. And of course, in addition to the project, in terms of what other evaluations I will be conducting for this course, well, you also have the journal entries that I already mentioned. Again, there is one per week, based of the readings and the discussion boards, right? So there's a total of 16 of these and 16 of discussion boards. So also try to keep up with that. It's very important. Again, very small type of writing, but not a whole lot. It's low stakes, but you need to stay on top, because it's worth a significant amount of your grade as well. Okay. You also have 2 exams and a short final presentation, and by short I mean like 3 minutes. It's nothing to be worried about. Again, it will seem like there is a lot of work to do, but in reality it's bite-sized assignments, which are completely doable, and that's why I developed them in such a way, right? Smaller and whatnot. So here we go. This is the one place where you can have at a glance view of all of the assignments you have, and in here they are the detail. So you have, well, you see the journal entries, low stakes, 16 of them. How much writing? Just one paragraph. Discussion boards. How many of them? 16. Sentence or two. When are those two due? Well, Sundays at midnight. It's always the same, so that you can see the pattern and just go with the flow. This is when we start with the dare. Every time you have a bite-sized assignment, a dare bite-sized assignment, it'll be described as such, as there, and whether it's low stakes or high stakes, just to keep you in mind, and then how much time it might take you in the case of filling out some surveys, or how much writing there is available. So you can see it in there. It's just an easy way of keeping things. So if I were you, I would just right away put all of these assignments into a calendar, set up some alerts, so that you don't miss a bit, right? Okay, very important. Yeah, so a lot of very small, you see one paragraph here, one paragraph, one page, 2 pages at the most. It's very, very doable kinds of assignments. So you can access them here, right, on the syllabus, or as I mentioned before, you can go to course content. Let's do it again. You can go to course schedule, full schedule, and then you have all the dates, and if you're clicking on any of them, it'll tell you what do you have for that particular day. Okay, so either here or on the syllabus. All right, syllabus. Let's go back to the syllabus. I took the time of also breaking down all of the readings, like how many pages per reading you have to do, and more or less how much time per reading it'll take you. Again, I'm doing all of this extra work in the hopes that it will help you stay organized, that it will help you foresee how much time you will need to invest on a given week to accomplish all of the tasks, all of the course tasks at hand. So again, use these tools that I have expended so much time creating. I did this because I want to make your lives easier. Take advantage of it. All right, I want you to succeed. So yeah. Now, a word about the time that it takes to read. The calculations for this that I made, they are assuming a ESL student, meaning somebody that is learning English now. And so, of course, the calculation is for someone that it's reading something like I think it's like 300 words per minute or something like that. So it's if you read a little faster, then it'll take you less time, right? It depends. But these are estimations for someone that is learning English right now, and that's why they might seem a little over inflated, right? They might seem inflated, but in reality, it might vary depending on your language proficiency. Okay. All right. So here is the course schedule, right? It's very visual. It's completely hyperlinked, so everything in blue. You can click on it, and it'll take you there. And for the readings, you can either access the readings right from here, by clicking in there. It'll take you to the readings, right? Or if you go to the course content, right, and you go to a given unit, let's go to unit 1. There you have it. Readings. Where are the readings? Readings to do. Right there. So if you click in there, there you have hyperlink readings. Exactly the same ones than before, right? Than with the syllabus. So you can either access them through here or access them through there. All right. The syllabus and the course shell mirrors each other. All right. All right. Let's go back to the syllabus. All right, so a few things that you should know about the syllabus. Oh, that's strange in there. Okay, let's see. A few things. So we have in here that you need to notice, of course, the dates, Mondays and Wednesdays. This is a calendar, right? And what I did is I fit in all the information for that calendar in the calendar format. So the first day, I mean, even though classes started the 28th, right? I set it up starting the 26th just because I needed to divide the information in a way that is organized for you. And the best way I can think of helping you out to stay organized is by treating this course as if we are meeting twice a week. And that should give you some sort of a structure to how to tackle the different tasks for this course. Okay. This on the left, the upper left part of the cell of each cell, you'll have the date. Okay, so in this case, it says August 26th, right? Now look what happens on the Wednesday. Oh, this is Monday, August 26th. Now look what happens on Wednesday. It doesn't have the month, okay? You notice 26, but because it's ordinal numbering, you will know that that's a date, okay? So if you scroll and suddenly you see, well, in this case you have September because of course it's September already, but let's move to September. Okay, here. Like in this case, you see 18, at glance you might not know, oh my gosh, what month is that? Well, you might need either to go up to check what was the last month or to go down to figure out what's the next month, and that will give you the month. All right, I know it's a little weird, but it's just the system that I use doesn't allow me to put the freaking full date on each cell, so a little compromising there. Okay, now this other number here on the right side of the cell, the upper right side of the cell, don't worry about that. It was supposed to be a count of the actual meeting time. So if you scroll all the way down, it kind of gives you the total of days that would have met if we were in person, type of deal. Okay, so but you don't have to concern yourself about that number. I'm just telling you so that you don't, so that you know. All right, what else? These little yellow stickies, they usually address an assignment. So when there's an assignment, it'll say so. Assignment, fill out, pre there, whatever. Or you might have some content lectures on the dare stuff. Right? So in this case, lecture on data analysis. So I mean, I pretty much spell out what it is, right? Lecture on Google, assignments, submit 2 attitude survey questions, and so on and so forth, right? So those are the assignments. They are in blue. I mean, they're in the sticky notes to stand out so that you can see them right away. Again, those very same assignments are in here too, right? On this table that I already showed you, right? So you can either, this is probably the quickest way of finding the assignments, or the ones on Brightspace as well. What else? Yes, so you have the readings, you can access them in there, and the different units. So, and it tells you also the week. So this is the calendar with all of the reading and what do you need to read. And for instance, this is a reading in here. It's a long reading, so I decided just to assign a few sections within that reading. And what sections are those? Well, I'm telling you here. All right, so you go to the article and then you read between pages 201 to 206, and then 220 to 226, and so on and so forth. That's one example. And there's another example that I want to show you, and is it will be, let's see, Gonzalez, Conquerors and Victim. Oh yeah, this is a good one. So for instance, you see in here Gonzalez 1, Conquerors and Victims, the image of the America, blah, 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 right? Look at the pages from page 27 to page 38. If you move to the next week, it is exactly the same reading, Gonzalez, blah, 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 blah. But if you look at the pages, 39 to 50, right? So 27 to 38, 29 to 50. If you click in there, it'll take you to the same article, the whole article. So what this means is that for this week, you only have to read up to page 38, and then when it comes to write that little, journal entry, you write about those very pages that you read in there, right? And the next week, you are going to finish that article, so you write about the second half of the article, and that's how it works, okay? So if you see that an article is repeating, I'm not crazy, it's the same article, but you got to look closer, and you will find out that I splice it in two to make your work easier, right? Remember that traditional college level courses will have not one long article per class day, but sometimes two. A traditional article or book chapter is between 20 to 30 pages. So if it has two, we're talking about 60 pages, and between 40 and 60 pages. That's a good amount of reading. But I try to keep it under 20, 25 at the most per day. Not always I can do that, but as much as I could, I did so. Okay. What else? I think that's it about. Yeah, I mean, it repeats itself over and over. Same format. All right, let's move here to page 15. Oh my goodness. Yes. So don't pay attention to these project deadlines in here, because these are all ones. I completely forgot to change that actually from the syllabus. But because I have them in here, right? You don't need that, right? So you have all of the assignments for the quantitative project, their project, are here. So don't pay attention to these ones. On page 14. Okay, these ones don't pay attention. This is what matters. This is what you need to read, right? And in there I explain in detail what is this project about, so make sure to read it and understand it. Okay, I will be creating a quiz that will test you on the content, on the syllabus content. Why? Because it's extremely important for your success that you understand how this course is laid out and what needs to be done and when, and be clear about the course requirements and how to be successful. So I will be creating a quiz. I just haven't had the chance to do so yet, but I will be doing it soon, and in the time being, make sure you read it and understand it well. Okay, let's move on. So that's the syllabus. Let's go back to course content. So this is where you will be doing most of the work, right? These are the units 1 to 5, 6 to 11, I mean to 10, and 11 to 16. Let's click on this one first, right? You see what happened? All of the units now are showing. Before, if you go to table of content in here, you see they're hiding now. If you click on it, they will show, right? So unit 1, what's in unit 1? You can either scroll all the way down in here. You see it's collapsible, so you can see them all in there. You click in there and you can see it. That's one way. Or you can just click on it and it'll show you just that one. I find this way of navigating the course easier, just navigating off the left pane, because it keeps it, you know, more concise in one place and whatnot. So this is one of the first assignments you have to do, the icebreaker. Let's go there, click on it, and bam. All you have to do is record a short 1-minute video of yourself introducing to the class. So what do you need to, you know, say? Well, your name, why are you taking the class, what do you hope to learn, what are 3 things that you would like other people to know about you, and then follow the instructions to have to submit it, okay? So that's one of the assignments, the first one, one of the first ones. And then I have a bunch of little things in here. So we have readings hack, lecture, ooh, nice. That is just basically me explaining how you can maximize your time when you're confronting a ton of readings and how to be able to tackle any reading regardless of the discipline. It's pretty useful stuff. Check it out, learn it, and apply it. And I assure you, you will cut off your studying time significantly and also maximize your you know, your performance on tests and whatnot if you are to follow some of those tricks that I'm providing you there. So this is a handout for that. You see it right there. Every time you see this little arrow like that, it usually means that it's like content related to either a lecture or something that I have given, right? So you have PDF in here. Let's check it out quickly so that you can see what I'm saying. So like this is basically the summary of my lecture. So there you have it. This is the first lecture of the course content, all right? So yeah, you gotta watch it. You know, I'm not gonna go there not to waste time. Let's see, and then the readings are there, the movie documentary are there. These are the slides that I use on this course content lecture, all right? So it's right there. Oh, this shouldn't be here, but somehow it is. I gotta take care of that. Yep, so that's unit 1, okay? And then it's the same format: lecture, reading, movie, and then whatever, you know, supplementary materials might be. You know, so you want to check, you know, unit 3, same thing: lecture, reading, movie, complementary material, and so on and so forth. So it's the same process over and over, okay? Let's go back to, so again, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, and 11 to 16. Now, where do you submit all of the assignments that I mentioned, right? I actually created these tabs, these submission tabs for the most important assignments, for all of the assignments really. So, but I subdivided it, right? So you have the journal submission tab, you have the discussion board tab, you have the exams and quizzes tab right there, and you have the DER project tab, and then the final autobiographical essay tab, which is another you know, short piece that you will have to write. So let's go and check the journal submission. You see, it's right there. It's divided very similar to the unit. You see, 1 to 5, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 6 to, same deal. So you click on it, and voila, this is where you do your posting. So for this week, meaning for today, you were supposed to already submit something. But since I'm making the course available today, again, you'll have till next week to submit it. But then next week, you have to submit this one and this one. Don't forget. All right. And then the prompt, you know, write a 500-word paragraph per each reading for this unit. You do not need to write about documentaries or movies unless you want to comment on the relationship between the audiovisual content And the readings. Kindly post your text within the text box provided. You cannot upload files for this assignment. Yep. So follow instructions, all right? Just make sure you read and follow them. So that's for the journal entries. For discussion boards, same thing. It's divided, you click on it, and voila. This is where you go to post, all right? For the exams, okay, so it's subdivided. If you go to exams and study guide, you click on it and it'll show you the study guides and the actual exam that you can take right there. All right, so I try to keep things together so that it's easier for you to find them and you're not struggling trying to navigate inside of the units and all of that, because you know yeah, it can get tricky. If I would have embedded all of these assignments within the units themselves, then it would have been a pain for you to find where do you need to post what. Okay, so I kind of consolidated everything and divided it by the type of assignment submission. So now you've seen where the exams and the study guides are. Let's move on. Size of study guides, we journals, discussions, some study guide, and the DER project. Boom, let's check it out. The DER project, you see there are two different sections within the DER project. You have the how-to section, right? And that's similar to the exam. Well, that's some of it. Anyway, the DER how-to section, which is where I provide you with the either videos or PDFs that explain how to do something. So that's the first place you go to check it out and understand what the instructions I'm providing. And then on the other section is where you do the posting of the actual assignments. Something to notice is that in here it tells you the due dates, right? So due dates, right? There are due date, so on and so forth. So just, make sure you're on top of all of that, all right? So that's where you post their related assignments. This is where you take the exams and quizzes and find the materials to study. This is where you post all of your discussion board entries, the journal entries. And last but not least, we have the autobiographical essay. Listen, you'll have to, in addition to do the DARE project, the final report for the DARE project is between 4 to 5 pages. It's very small, and most of it is going to be tables and graphs, so it's really not a whole lot of writing. But the autobiographical essay, not bad, but actually you won't have to write a whole lot either. And on top of that, it's going to be about yourself. And who are the best experts about you? Well, yourself. So the autobiographical essay should be super easy. Again, I kind of broke it down into little steps to simplify the work for you. And this is where you find the autobiography how-to. I provide you there with the essay prompt. You should check it out. I provide you with a sample essay of another student that wrote an extremely good essay, so you can read it and kind of understand the logic behind it. And then, I provided you with more sources here for you to understand how to accomplish that task of writing your autobiographical essay. The importance of the autobiographical essay quickly have to do with the fact that when you're applying to fellowships, or when you're applying to getting into 4-year institutions or grad school, they often require you to write such a piece about yourself and explaining why is that your whole life has taken you to the professional path that you want to pursue. So this is kind of like to get you started in that specific type of writing, which is a very specific type of writing, by the way. So anyways, yeah, so that's the rationale for that. I think I pretty much cover everything. So that's all for me today. I'm looking forward to getting to know you and looking forward to a phenomenal semester with you folks. All right, that's all for me today. And this is me signing off. Bye.